My story begins only a couple years ago. I had recently finished my bachelor's degree, didn't know what to do. It's kind of hard to find a job in linguistics. I was working at the Best Western in banquets, and we were having the Alachua County Library District volunteer luncheon. I ran into a friend of mine from college who I hadn't seen in years. He had gone to Tampa for his librarian degree, come back, was working at the district, and I was like, oh man, I've really been meaning to get back, in touch with you. What have you been up to? He's like, oh, I'm working at the library, I'm in the teens and it's great. And I was like, libraries? I dig libraries. I've always been into libraries. So I was like, can I get a job there, volunteer there, do whatever? And he's like, well, this is the volunteer luncheon, so here's the volunteer coordinator. The volunteer luncheon was in March. I started volunteering in April, and by December, I had a job. I became a library specialist, and I wanted to be that person that I had growing up. The library was integral to my life, and somehow I had forgotten that. I went to a Catholic school growing up, and it was very small, and we had library time, every week, and we would go get our books and learn about the library. And the librarian at our school, Miss Beaupre, was amazing. She could find anything, and she was just the coolest person on earth. I was reading at a much higher grade level than a lot of other people in my class. She would always help me find the next book. I read Jane Eyre in 8th grade. I didn't get it, but I read it. And she got me to try Greek mythology and all these books that I never would have read. She had just had the knack for finding those life-changing books, and she was always so supportive, and she actually wrote me a letter of recommendation when I applied for a media specialist position. The letter was the nicest thing that anyone's ever said about me. She was like, she sent me the greatest email that was like, this is something that you would be great at, and you should definitely go for it. I mean, you would be an amazing librarian, which is, from a librarian, the highest compliment that you can pay someone. That's really what I want to do, is to help kids learn to love to read, help kids learn, help be a good role model. And I want to bridge that gap from reading as a child and the amazing wonder that you get reading Harry Potter or Pete the Cat or whatever book grasps your attention, to being an adult that reads, because adults who read change the world. It seems kind of silly, but I feel like I can do it.